Hello and welcome to Fresh Face Comics, the comic book podcast where a lifelong comic book reader guides his friend through the world of comics for the first time. My name is Joey Morgan, the aforementioned lifelong comic book reader. With me, as always, is Jacob Licklider, the aforementioned newbie.
It's our 10th episode, guys.
It is our official 10th episode.
Our official 10th. That's a bonus. We hit double digits officially.
We did, yeah. This is officially episode 10 of Fresh Face Comics. We're talking about Superman Doomsday today, not the animated movie. If you want our thoughts on that, watch last episode.
We have plenty of thoughts.
We have thoughts. No, we're talking about the collection Superman Doomsday, finishing off our 2016 editions of the Death of Superman. Even though this isn't technically part of Death of Superman, it's a nice little add-on to the end.
It's two sequels, basically.
Two sequels. If you've read the miniseries, it's Hunter Prey, the Doomsday Wars, and plus the Doomsday Annuals, or aka Doomsday Year One, if you want to call it that, because everyone has to have a fucking year one.
Even though this doesn't really describe a year one type story.
I mean, it technically does. I don't know. Anyway, so Superman Doomsday is mostly written by Dan Jurgens, but also has stories by Jerry Ordway, Louis Simonson, and Roger Stern. We know these names very well.
It'll be so nice next episode just to have a different name as headliner,
but also a name you're familiar with.
Ooh.
See, for those who aren't aware, I've been hyping up episode 11 and 12 for Jacob for a long time because he's known what episodes 6 through 10 were going to be way ahead of time. So there's been no surprise for him.
No surprises. We're doing the Death of Superman. It's 5 books. We have 5 episodes.
Yeah, so just to finally have some new things on the horizon is nice. So we're talking about Superman Doomsday today. Before we get into today's episode, as always, thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. We've been doing really well so far. This really means a lot that you guys are into what we're doing here. As always, if you want to show your support, you could subscribe and leave a rating to us wherever you're listening to us or watching us. Be sure to can't fucking speak today. Be sure to subscribe to the Blood Donut Studios YouTube channel. We're doing all kinds of fun stuff over there right now. We started tier lists and things like that, so just go check us out. By the time this episode comes out, I've been doing it for a few weeks now, but go check it out. It's there.
Once again, we're still recording in advance because I'm gonna need a week off in March.
yeah. So but hey, we're finally almost there, so we'll finally be more in tune with the listeners soon. So that's
very
nice.
soon. Yes.
So I think the best way to do non-spoiler section here is just to cover the 3 sections of this book in the non-spoiler section and then move into it bit by bit.
Yeah, that was my thought.
So tell me about Superman Doomsday Hunter Prey first, Jacob. What is this about?
So this one is the immediate sequel. Now it's the 2 miniseries are both only 3 issues. They're double length issues.
They're annual size, yeah.
Yeah, they're annual size. They're 50 pages each issue, but it's still 3 issues. And Hunter Prey essentially explores basically picking up on that plot thread from Reign with the cyborg throwing Doomsday into space. I don't necessarily want to spoil everything that appears here, but it's definitely it's action packed. It's Dan Jurgens writing, and Jurgens is kind of using it to explore Clark Kent's psyche post his death and return. However, there's a decent stretch in the middle where we aren't exploring the psyche, and we're trying to give some more depth to Doomsday.
They're I think what the series really is about for me, it's about Clark. It's about Clark as a character. It's following on from that plot line from Reign, where like you said, where Cyborg throws Doomsday into space. But also I think it's really about it's about Clark as a character, what he is going through post Return of Superman.
Yes.
We dealt with a lot of that in the last couple issues of the Return of Superman volume, but here we're taking that to what are the long-term effects of this? Superman literally died. He literally died. How does that affect him not mentally, really. So and having Dan Jurgens be the guy to like take this on, I think is a really smart move. He's the guy that brought a lot of the heart and soul to the main arc, and
And it's very nice because he's doing the art as well, basically
mhm.
for everything but the annual, for
Yeah,
both
yeah,
miniseries. The
yep.
annual, I think he does art for like he does like one story, I think,
hmm
and then
What is really cool about this, though, actually, is how these three segments were published. The Hunter Prey was published in '94, the Doomsday Annual was published in '95, and Doomsday Wars was published in '98. So it's this interesting era of comics where you see, even though a lot of it's by the same writer and artist, you see the evolution of comics here. Like I think this is where you could really see, like, a collection like this is where you can find the evolution of comic art and writing from like from the 80s and 90s to what we know today. I think you can really chronicle that here. I think it's a really interesting thing to see.
yeah, most definitely. Like I know I loved the art, especially in Doomsday Wars. Like that
Yeah,
art was
Doomsday War has
just
some really great art,
it
and
was.
honestly, like for a late 90s series, the art looks very modern, I'd say.
It's very modern. Interestingly, despite a couple of things here and there, the entire collection wasn't as '90s edge as I was expecting.
It's
Um,
not. It's really not.
like,
I'd say the closest you get is probably Hunter Prey.
yeah, Hunter Prey gets close, and that might be part.
Although the very crux of Doomsday Wars, I would say, like is is a very 90s idea.
It's a very '90s idea, but it never gets that bad. That might be partially why I prefer Doomsday Wars to Hunter Prey, because that's sort of what happened. Is that Doomsday? I prefer Doomsday Wars partially because I think it's just slightly a little tighter of a story, and I think that it does a good job of getting into Clark's psyche about who Clark Kent is, um, and still even with and bringing back Doomsday, um, for essentially the second time. The
hmm
the annual doesn't really bring back Doomsday. It feels more like
It's yeah. I mean, let's move into that now for the non-spoiler section. The Doomsday Annual,
annual.
Doomsday Year
The year
One.
one.
Um, it's these collection. It's this collection of what is it? Three or four smaller
Five,
stories.
like three stories, and then a two-part framing device.
Yeah. It's literally Superman talks to these guys on Earth and says, "Ah, but little do you know where Doomsday comes from." And we just tell these stories of Doomsday's first rampage through the universe, and that's
Honestly,
about it.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really enjoy the annual.
I really did like one story in the annual, but that's
Yeah,
about it.
I didn't quite have the connection to that story that I think I might have needed. Um,
Mm, I get, yeah, yeah. There is one thing in it that you do kind
yeah,
of need to
it's.
know
I
the
mean,
characters.
the story you're talking about was fun, but like over. I'm just talking about the annual overall. It's weak. Like like it's nice to see Jerry Ordway writing a story again for
Yeah,
sort of
especially because
Superman.
we missed out on him for the last two volumes of
Yeah,
previous
uh,
collections.
but it's a matter of this one feels like the editors were like, you need to do you four need to make us a Doomsday thing because Death of Superman sold really well and Jurgens' previous miniseries sold really well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and Dan Jurgens is great. He's definitely the guy to take this on, and he does really well with the material, I'd
yeah.
say.
But yeah, but
Um,
it's very much it's not cohesive. It's not honestly it's not that interesting. Partially because they try to make Doomsday the main character, and
Doomsday isn't really a character.
he's not main character
The idea,
material.
I mean, yeah, what made Doomsday the unstoppable force that he was is the fact that he's literally just an unstoppable force. That's what makes him the one thing in the universe that could kill Superman, because it's it's not an intelligent enemy. It's not someone who could outthink Superman. It's just this horrible brute force. And why does he need a 50-page annual all to himself?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's I think it sounds like popularity. I did do some looking into like why because I was just curious. Apparently, every annual in 1995 was a year one annual.
Oh God, of course it was.
Of
Of
course.
course.
Of course it was. Yeah, so this is
Oh my
interesting that that's happened with the annuals twice in this series of 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Of
Well, they used to theme annuals. They don't really do it anymore. Nowadays, well, actually, no, they only just did it recently. DC, that is. They only just recently did it again, where they just dropped all the fucking annuals for every series in the same fucking month. Here's
really
the
like
here's the thing. The standard going price for comics nowadays is about $2.95, $3.95 for a single issue, and that's pretty standard.
it's
And
that's not in today's climate. That's not a bad price
yeah,
something of.
an annual is typically $5.99. Nowadays,
And I kind I see I get that price. That price makes sense.
usually how it should go is an annual should release when a series hits its anniversary, when it hits its year mark of going. You get typically 12, 13 issues in. Okay, here's an annual. This past year, they just decided to drop them all in December, like every single
That's
fucking one of them in
so,
December.
how many was that?
A lot.
A lot,
Way
because
way
like
too many. They even did some annuals for series that like aren't even currently going. Like there was a Justice League Dark annual. There's no current Justice League Dark series. There's a backup story going on in the Justice League title that I'm reading for Justice League Dark, but they don't have their own title. They got an annual though.
that's a lot. Like
But I digress. Anyway,
yeah, you
so
can see our issues with
I
DC and
can
their
complain all day. I can
annuals.
complain all day,
Um,
but non-spoiler thoughts on Doomsday Wars.
this is one I really liked. Um, Mostly, it's got one
I
kind
think
of a
I think the last issue kind of falls apart.
yeah. It falls apart a little bit. Again, it's Jurgens exploring Clark's psyche,
Mhm.
um, and doing some very interesting things with Jurgens realizing he can't just keep bringing Doomsday back. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
despite the fact that it's clearly like Doomsday's a moneymaker, bring him back. It's like you can't do much with this character.
Mhm.
So
Needless to say, though, there is a reason that I'm sure you got in Doomsday Wars. Why I was really hoping that you would have started Superman the animated series before you read Doomsday Wars,
yes,
because I really
yes.
wanted you to know who a certain character was. So
Luckily, luckily, I
I'm sure
have.
you just knew them through like cultural osmosis, but
Oh,
like,
I
oh, you
didn't.
didn't? Oh,
I
fuck.
didn't. So I,
No,
I was like,
no.
I don't know who the hell this character is. Luckily, before recording, I've seen the first three-parter in
Yeah. Well,
Superman
so you
Needs.
kind of get it. He comes
So
back in a later episode, and he's more important there. But man,
yeah,
that's funny. I can't wait to talk about that in
yeah,
spoiler.
it's a thing, but like, there is especially. I will say there's one. Well, no, a couple of very edgy '90s panels in this one.
Oh yeah,
Mainly whenever
very much
Aquaman
so.
shows up,
Oh my God, yes.
because like
I told you he would show up. I told you you would see the
I,
hook hand.
I, look, you told me. I don't think that's enough to
Sorry, should I say the harpoon hand?
yeah, that doesn't really prepare you for the edge, like uh, uh, the edge of late '90s Aquaman, because
It is something to behold.
it is it is it is something to go. Because let's be honest, the '90s just in media became a really dark and edgy time. Like
Well, it's funny because we've hit a point in these collections where 1998 is 5 years post Death of Superman. Um, Death of Superman is arguably the thing in comics that started all the edgy comic book shit. So we've kind of come full circle, haven't we?
yeah, yeah,
Doomsday Wars is doing the edgy shit because the 90s was edgy, but only because of Death of Superman.
and the '90s really didn't end until the mid 2000s
Yeah,
because
yeah. Yeah,
you
because
don't get an end of the edge until like
I would
mid
say
2000s.
0405 ish,
Yeah,
yeah. That's about the time when Jeff Johns grabs comic books by the balls. That's
yeah.
about when.
I'd also argue that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies helped to draw some of the edge away just
Yeah,
with their
yeah.
popularity.
Well, but then also debatable,
Debatable, debatable.
debatable.
Well, yeah.
Because the Raimi films have some pretty damn dark moments.
Yeah, but it's not that gratuitous edge of this man literally has a harpoon for a hand. But yeah, I enjoyed both miniseries. I enjoyed them both. They're both great. The annual, not so much. Right. And Joey's been giving me crap for this. I think I prefer Doomsday Wars.
Yeah, and you're very wrong about that. We're gonna delve into why you're wrong about that.
I think part of it's also just the flashback sequences in Doomsday Wars are.
I love the. Do you mean in Hunter Prey?
No, in Doomsday Wars,
Okay,
I like more than the good flashback sequences in Hunter Prey. Hunter Prey is not bad.
Hunter Prey is great, man.
We can agree the worst thing about Hunter Prey though is its covers.
Yeah, they're
we've been praising the covers. Honestly, the covers in this volume all the way through, not great.
No,
not amazing.
Honestly, the only actually good cover is in this collection is for the Doomsday Annual, which is the worst. Which is the worst issue of this collection.
I swear that's
there's a connection there. There's got to be a connection there. Oh man! All right. I feel like it's time. Let's get into spoilers.
Shall we jump into spoilers?
Superman Doomsday, Hunter Prey, Book 1. What a mouthful! I love these first 3 pages.
Yes. The first 3 pages are utterly. No, the first 4 pages are brilliant. It's.
Oh yeah. It's. I mean, like Clark has PTSD. We are equating this childhood fear of the dark that Clark had to a monster that literally killed him. It's
the monster that killed him.
Yeah, and Clark is reasonably certain that Doomsday is still out there.
Yeah.
And that's something to be afraid of. It's giving him that same fear that he had as a child. It scares him, rightfully so.
And on the page layout for basically everything up till about page 13, because 14 is when the flashbacks end and Clark Kent wakes up. Because it's basically the first few pages of this is an extended dream sequence.
Mm-hmm.
One, just the way that the first 2 pages are done with these 6 vertical panels, 4 of them descending into a nice stair. Really nice page design. Again, Dan Jurgens is a great artist.
Yeah.
And I love the way the fear is played. And you think, oh, okay, nothing's. It's he's just being afraid of the dark. It's like, nope, he is traumatized. Like we flash back to the fight with him reliving the fight with Doomsday.
And it's clearly not a flashback. This is Superman imagining this happening to him again. Yeah. He has the mullet, which, by the way, he keeps the mullet. It's so great.
How long did he keep the mullet? The mullet feels like it's.
I'm not sure exactly which year it went away, but it's gone by Doomsday Wars.
It's gone by Doomsday Wars, but that's late '98.
Yeah.
But all the panels are outlined in red.
And it really gives you this sense of dread that Clark has as well.
Yeah.
And then the back of the page is wash white again when Clark finally wakes up. It's just this constant fear that he has that you really feel, and it's super well written. I love it.
Yeah. And sure enough, a spaceship from Apocalypse, so that's Darkseid's planet that he rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So this I'm really excited to talk about too. Actually, what did you know about Apocalypse and New Gods and Darkseid before?
All I knew is that Darkseid was a big, bad, scary villain.
Cool. That's a good starting point.
That's it. I'm sorry. Oh, and I know that in the animated series he's played by the Candyman.
Honestly, though, you had seen him in the Reign of the Superman animated movie, but also you have this here, but also despite Hunter Prey being kind of continuity heavy, it's kind of a good introduction for Darkseid. I'm sure you weren't lost or anything.
I wasn't lost.
Yeah.
All you really need to know for him is that he's big, he's scary, and he rules a planet. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing he wants to take over the universe, or
something to that effect. Yeah, usually. But so we have spaceship from Apocalypse. They find the asteroid with Doomsday on that Doomsday is strapped to because of Cyborg Superman. Doomsday breaks off and he escapes. He kills these guys. Just again, I love the threat of Doomsday. It's nice to have back, you know.
It's this great. It's like it's very much the beginning of a horror movie.
Yeah,
Like
we praised this a lot when we did the Death of Superman episode, but just Doomsday's power, sheer power, is just something to behold. I really love it. It's always so well portrayed
and
so well.
I think there's more blood in this comic too. Um, Probably because I don't see an approved by the Comics Code Authority sticker on the issue.
And man, you can tell.
You can tell
you because this guy gets ripped in half.
ripped with this great schwip.
Yeah, it's a schwip.
I love Jurgens' use of onomatopoeia.
Like, yeah, he's really great at it.
He's really good at doing that, and that makes it fun. But you know,
we go back to Metropolis then. Lois kept that haircut as well. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's nice.
But Clark basically says, like, I have to go after Doomsday. I have to face my fear. I have to put this to rest. I'm never gonna be able to sleep at night until I actually go after him, and I make sure that he's dead.
And it's this great idea of, you know, and almost is like the Wizard's like, no, the body's thrown out there. Leave him there. And it's fair. Like, Lois doesn't want to see her fiance / husband if they're married by this point.
Still fiance at this point.
Still fiance. It's only been it's only been about a year.
Little less than a year. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So doesn't want to see him dead again. But I love the transitions. From place to place.
Yeah. I love this 2-page spread here where you see just the work on Apocalypse, and then you see this guy's head come flying.
Yeah.
It's so great. Another great spread then of just Doomsday wreaking havoc. So damn good. Jurgens, I know we already praised it, but like he really is one of those writer artists that is great at both.
He knows how to do both.
Yeah.
Because people, it's like, right, we need to inform dark side that, you know, Doomsday's on Apocalypse, in parallel with Clark and Lois saying goodbye.
Interestingly, we haven't brought this up though. Everyone on Apocalypse, everyone that bows to Darkseid, knows who Doomsday is.
Yes, which is interesting.
Which is interesting now. Like it's. I don't want to gloss over this. Like we should talk about this. Like this is the first time that Doomsday's origins are ever being explored.
Yes.
I really love it. I love the way this is done, and it's just fascinating. Anyway, Doomsday, not Doomsday. Clark says goodbye to Lois. He decides to go out. We got our first full page of Darkseid then. What do you think of Darkseid's design? I'm curious.
It's very it feels very 70s.
I believe, 70s character, I believe. I want to say it was
created in the 70s. The blues, Circus does a good job of making it imposing, and making just the character work, especially with the fact that, you know, this is there's some stuff later on, like much later in the third issue, that gets very 90s in its design, like. You know what I'm talking about, Joey.
I know. I very much know.
And you'll have to see that thing is dumb. That thing looks dumb and silly.
But we are talking about the same thing, right? The one character redesign.
Yeah, the costume.
It's coming up in a second here, so we could just talk about it now. Cyborg Superman is here.
Cyborg Superman.
You know what? I like it. I like the design. I like the design. I like it in a really like edgy, campy '90s way. It's even like the fact that Hank Henshaw has grown his own mullet. He has grown his own mullet. He's all red. His even the metal of his exposed metallic face is red.
And it's
so great. I love it.
I don't see the camp appeal. Mainly because I don't think this comic's going for camp.
Yeah,
it's going for kind of very realism. Also, I mean, I'm glad that the Cyborg's returning because, you know, and I like the way Jurgens plays with it. Jurgens kind of implies that that the real Hank Henshaw is now dead. Like. After all of this,
but interestingly, like I would say, like the Cyborg still has Hank's memories, and it's still it's still Henshaw in a way, but like the physical body of Henshaw has been.
I would even say the original Henshaw is dead. Like
yeah,
like there's this. mainly something that happens later is that the cyborg wants to just be called the cyborg. Like, it's lost any sort of human identity, which is really interesting. Uh, uh, and okay, so it's interesting because it's implying that the cyborg planned this. Like,
Yeah, when like we saw that Doomsday was just found by chance by these guys from
like that
Apocalypse.
was by chance. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and you have uh, I want to say Darkseid's head priest,
Yeah, this is Desaad. Do you know
Desaad.
Desaad at all?
No,
No,
but
okay.
like
Oh no, that's right. You haven't seen. I thought for a reason you saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, he's in
no,
that though.
I haven't got. I will, but I haven't gotten around to it. It's
Yeah, Desaad's like one of the right hands of Darkseid.
so,
Yeah, Desaad's great.
um,
Um, so we go back to Superman here though. Before he goes out to find Doomsday, he goes to talk to the Linear Men, which is
yeah.
a cool plot point to bring back from Funeral for a Friend. Um, I love this. I love this is what really like sells this miniseries for me is the inclusion of the Linear Men.
It's a
Uh,
really good way, and it's a really good way to set up the way that the miniseries ends. Um,
mhm.
especially with the end, the solution. Um, I I don't entirely like. It feels like, I need you to tell me all you need to know about Doomsday. It's like, oh, we can't do that. It's like, just okay. Can we? This that feels like kind of padding. Like,
I mean, but well, no, not really, because Wave Rider still decides to help him out in the end anyway.
in the end, but it feels like padding. I feel like this should be where we should be getting Doomsday's backstory, and not so much later. If we move the backstory here, and then had issues 2 and 3 be Clark getting ready to fight and then fighting, it would have. I feel like structurally it would have worked better because it. And Jurgens almost lampshades this by saying sounds like a cop out to me, uh, you know, and it's but Wave Rider's the character's name, right? Our Yellow Man.
Yeah, Wave Rider. Yep.
Wave Rider. He's an interesting character, and he feels very much like a Jurgens creation. Like,
I'm not sure if Jurgens actually created him. Maybe. I'm not sure.
maybe, like, well, because I know
Uh,
Jurgens created Booster Gold.
yeah. Wave Rider first appearance. Let's find out. Let's see. Armageddon 2001. What a 90s name. Let's see. 2001 is a DC title written by. Oh my
Created by
God.
Dan Jurgens.
Yep, Dan Jurgens, hot
Dan
damn.
Jurgens.
Yeah, there
An
we go. Okay,
archie
yeah,
good one.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, a lot of this is Dan Jurgens. I mean, right down to Cyborg Superman's involvement because Jurgens was the main writer for Cyborg.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is telling. And I mean, I'm glad. Again, I'm glad. I like what they do with evolving the cyborg, despite I don't particularly like the red design.
hmm
Because
but it's nice to yeah, like his inclusion though, like makes sense. I would say.
yeah, but yeah, basically, Superman then it basically goes off. Um,
We go to Apocalypse here again. I'm sure you don't know this. Darkseid and the New Gods and all of them. They were created by Jack Kirby. So back on my comment from the Reign and Return episodes, when I said that I thought that the spaceship was Darkseid, and I said that the spaceship looked very Jack Kirby, like that, you could see where I was
I
coming from
can
there.
I can see where you are coming from, because
Yeah, yeah.
if this is an indication of Kirby's style,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like I mean, so like every time, anytime anyone uses Darkseid or Desaad or any of the New Gods characters in anything, it's very much because they're a
yeah,
huge fan of Jack Kirby and they love and respect the man so much.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's
But
great.
Darkseid decides to make to take an active role, so he triggers dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind anytime.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
that is all I could think of when I was looking at this panel. I was
because
just like,
because he shoots lasers out of his eyes.
because he shoots lasers out of his eyes, yes,
All right
and they
then.
like.
These are Darkseid's. Actually, Jacob, these are Darkseid's Omega beams.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
A very new mistake.
Yeah,
And
of course, of
yeah.
course. I
Um,
will still refer to them as dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind, because let's always quoting Queen is always a good decision.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. Especially I want your body. Um so, uh bonus points if you could tell me what song that's from. Anyway, so he thinks that he can take out Doomsday. He sends Doomsday into this pile of rubble with his Omega beams.
and it's a great sequential art piece. And then he gets his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And again,
Like you gotta understand, like Darkseid has been defeated before in comics, not easily, of course, but the dude's never had his ass handed to him quite like this before.
yeah.
Darkseid is an unstoppable force, and Doomsday is the immovable object.
And Doomsday is still laughing while he does it. Like,
yeah, I love that they kept. See, here's the thing: they keep the laughing. Why has no adapted version of Doomsday kept the laughing?
I'm curious. I'm curious to see if the audio drama version of Death and Return of Superman keeps the
Oh yes,
laughing.
that's right. We wanted to bring this up between last episode and this one. We found out that there was an audio drama. Well, we knew there was an audio drama, but we
I
found
didn't.
it's.
He did.
What's up?
You knew. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't know it was a thing before?
I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know
Oh
Dirk
shit.
Maggs did an
Yeah,
audio
yeah, I knew it
drama.
was a thing. I just didn't know it was readily available to listen to anywhere.
Yeah.
Which it is totally not available to listen to for
to.
free on YouTube. Not at all. Not at all.
No, it is not.
It's totally not called Superman Doomsday and Beyond, written by Louis Simonson. You totally cannot find it for free on YouTube.
Adapted by Dirk Maggs.
Yeah.
Again, aka the guy that did The Sandman and 4 series of the Hitchhiker's radio drama.
Who also adapted Batman Nightfall.
Yes, and another Superman arc, and Spider-Man, apparently. Apparently, Dirk Maggs does a lot of nerdy shit, and we love him for it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a great fight, and then after the fight, we see Maxima. I think, yeah, it's Maxima. Yeah.
Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. You jumped ahead a little bit. Or
I
mean, you didn't, but you're good.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of actual plot. It's more like, oh, this is dangerous, and that's the plot.
So Desaad calls Earth just casually, which I like. He calls Earth and asks for help, and Superman's like, "What was that?" And Desaad's like, "Oh, nothing. Just gonna head out by Desaad out." He literally says Desaad out. And sort of fucks off. So Superman catches on, of course. He knows that Doomsday is on Apocalypse, so he's gonna head over to Apocalypse now. Just nice to see Maxima again, though.
Yeah, I feel like there's an interesting character arc with her that you don't quite get to see when you're reading the stories. This entire like I feel like that's other stuff that's going on because but also it's like there's a decent what feels like stalling of Superman not knowing how to get to Apocalypse, which is it's interesting because would he have been there before at some point?
Superman? Maybe not. Maybe not directly to Apocalypse.
Okay, because
I'm not sure actually. Honestly, I haven't read the pre-94 story where Superman goes to Apocalypse. Not many DC heroes have been to Apocalypse, honestly. It's usually just like, it's usually an invading force from Apocalypse going somewhere.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have Maxima interestingly wanting to try to help, especially if it's Doomsday again, which it's interesting that Clark basically shrugs her off.
And like says like it's something that he needs to handle on his own, which is weird because he greatly accepts help later on.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. And again, this is sort of where I feel this first issue especially kind of stalls things. Like
I don't agree.
Doomsday's on his rampage. Okay, here we go. Cool.
Doomsday. Anyway, Doomsday on his rampage. Superman finds Cyborg Superman there. They square off for a little bit. Superman finally sees that Doomsday is alive. Just a great
in a great panel where like you see the great coloring. We go like we're zooming into his eye, and there's just a skull in his pupil, which is great.
It's literally Clark facing the thing that killed him again, and that's just horrifying.
And Cyborg then just kicks him while he's down, and we get we get this great callback of have to get up, must find Doomsday.
Mhm.
Uh,
Superman goes after him, but Doomsday does indeed escape, which leaves us on a great cliffhanger where Superman is just left alone, feeling like a failure once again, which brings us into Hunter Prey Book 2. We open on the Linear Man here.
Which is an even worse cover than Book 1.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
these covers tell you nothing. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I would not be interested in picking this up if I just saw it on a rack.
I mean, I feel like you see the name Doomsday. Like this is again, we know Doomsday is a regular DC character nowadays, but this is the first time he had ever properly come back in comics. So, you weren't really trying to sell it by the cover. You're just saying, "Hey, Doomsday is back." Actually, not just he's not just going to get flung into space.
Yeah, no, he's back. But we open with Wave Rider.
Yep.
Contemplating, realizing he's kind of been a dick.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, and Clark getting up and seeing all the death, and
Darkseid is behind him, and he just falls flat on his face. Superman has never just seen Darkseid defeated like that. I love that. I love that moment. He just goes, "Whoa! If Darkseid
is down,
then I'm the only one left to stop the Cyborg." And so Cyborg's I'm just holding Desaad up, not killing him for some reason.
But then he does, because he has a in the biggest air quotes great one-liner. Give me the. It's like, they call you Desaad. Yes, give me the chance and I will gratefully call you Master. I think not. I prefer to call you dead.
But it's weird. Desaad never stays dead.
Yeah, I don't... Like, he's just thrown to his side, and I think that's the last you see of him for this miniseries.
I think so. Yeah, I've never known Desaad to be officially dead in any capacity. Anyway, I do love that silhouette in the bottom of that page though of Cyborg there.
Yeah, it's a great image. It's a great silhouette, and again, it doesn't quite fit with the design, but you still have the great thread of him, integrating,
simply being there. I mean, I'd
being
say,
there and integrating himself into the computers, and taking control of the planet, and basically then using a sonic wave to cause Darkseid's troops' heads to explode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know the Parademons at all? Just by...
I mean, they were in Reign of the Supermen.
They were.
And I think they were still technically in the theatrical cut of Justice League, weren't they?
They were. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They were. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were in the nightmare sequence in Batman v Superman.
Yeah, they were. So they were in. I am aware of them. Here they're just. I mean, in all their appearances, they've been sort of just nameless threats, nameless.
I won't spoil it because I know we'll do a story later on that does delve into it a bit more. But they have a cool sort of like reason for existing. It's cool.
Yeah.
Another great full page. I love that full page of like all the parademons dying, and you see Cyborg's face there.
I love the way his mechanical jaw is drawn.
Yeah, it almost looks like there's like blood on his teeth somehow, yeah. which makes no sense, but I love it. It's
because again, the implication is that anything that was human about the Cyborg is gone.
Yeah.
And then you have a very nice sequence of Clark Kent being, the big blue Boy Scout and saving Darkseid's life. It's just...
I love that. I mean, Jurgens really does get Superman like just that ideal of what a superhero is and should be. And it's this. It's moments like this where Darkseid is this horrible, monstrous figure in the DC universe, and Clark still saves him.
Clark still just can't let this person die, despite knowing that helping him is, probably, there's a point where he says, next thing you know, I'll be saving Attila the Hun.
Yeah. Anyway, Wave Rider comes in. Finally, it just decides to help Superman, which is nice. And he blesses Superman with a knowledge of Doomsday's origin,
which is
a moment.
It's a moment, and it's the most interesting. The origin then takes up a decent chunk of this issue.
Well, that's what issue 2 is really. I think
Yeah.
honestly we could gloss over a lot of issue 2 because of it, because it is just we keep putting this being through horrible torture and death,
Yeah.
and just seeing how much he can survive. And the origin is basically we put him through so much that eventually he rebels against us and is too strong for even us to take down, because we put him through so much horror and death, and he is now an unstoppable monster and only knows horror and death.
And then to basically, well, they keep calling it baby, like it escapes, and like it then like lives on its own for 2 years to be immortal, and then it just kills all of its creators.
Mm-hmm. Doomsday is naked for most of this, by the way.
Doomsday is naked. I don't think Doomsday ever wears clothes.
Well, he gets the containment suit in the annual.
No, but what's I love seeing like the way that Jurgens designed Doomsday's like main creator is such a slimy design. I love seeing it get killed.
Oh yeah. But you have like these, but it's a very smart design too, because it can have these moments of awe when looking at its own creation. It's really interesting.
It's very much it's sort of the public perception of Frankenstein, because then you have the interesting thing of the people on this planet, the people on this planet, which is nearly destroyed of Doomsday from Doomsday's onslaught, because they create a containment vessel. And they take a bunch of people and combine their life forces into this thing called the Radiant.
And it looks kind of like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, I was going to say Silver Surfer, but
so I was going to say,
I see Dr. Manhattan too.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's more blue than silver, isn't it? So
yeah. And
naked bald man.
Naked bald man.
Naked bald man. Yeah. So this thing tries to fight off Doomsday. It does. They get him in the containment suit that we know from Death of Superman, and that is pretty much it.
It crashes into Earth, and that's not the end of the origin.
We have some time between the creation of Dr. Manhattan thing and when Doomsday first escapes the planet. And trust me, we will talk about that.
Yes.
But that's pretty much it. Like, we know Doomsday from there. He lands on Earth, kills Superman, yada yada yada. That's it.
And then there's this idea that Clark is like, wait, that happened hundreds of thousands of years ago. He was dead. How did he come back? He is unkillable. He cannot die. His body regenerates itself and comes back stronger than before. That's an interesting decision, obviously, so we can always have Doomsday coming back, except...
But Jacob, even then, they fucking officially kill Doomsday by the end of this miniseries.
Yeah.
And then there are still ways around it.
There's still... Honestly, I love the solution to this miniseries. I was like, okay, this is an ending. What does that mean for the second miniseries?
Yeah, and we will get there.
We will get there.
We will definitely get there.
And your Darkseid is basically get it off of Apocalypse, beat the Cyborg. So the Cyborg shoots some nukes. I'm guessing they're nukes.
Apocalypse nukes. Yeah, that makes
Apocalypse
sense.
Nukes.
Apocalypse nukes. Yeah. So we do that. Superman stops the nukes as he does. Sends them off elsewhere. Wave Rider just has a conversation with Darkseid then, which is just a cool little moment. I don't know. Wave Rider is this cool little passive figure at the middle of all this death and destruction. It's just nice to have there.
It feels like Jurgens is trying to comment on time travel stories, and the idea of
and that Wave Rider is both part of the linear men who explicitly do not interfere, and here Wave Rider is both interfering but also being very passive.
Trying to be like, I have plausible deniability.
Yeah.
But then you have Clark bursting in, screaming at Henshaw. And the cyborg is then immediately hit with dynamite with a laser beam guaranteed to blow your mind anytime.
Yes. And Cyborg Superman is supposed to be dead then, but he is not, of course. He is just bald now. I think that seems to be like all the Omega Beams did to him is they just
They
made him bald.
singed his hair.
It just shaved his head.
And he gets basically a mech suit.
He gets a mech suit then, because everyone gets a mech suit. and goes after Superman again. We blow up the mech, presumably blowing up Henshaw, because Henshaw just disappears for the rest of the series then.
I don't think he's actually dead. He's probably still alive somewhere.
No, yeah. Cyborg Superman makes a few other appearances after this in the DC universe. So there's that. Anyway, so we get rid of the mech. We just sort of reflect on everything that's happened so far. We get this nice little callback once again to Superman's fears as a child, and that Doomsday is still out there. He still has to stop him. Hunter Prey book 3, I think, has the best cover of the 3. It's actually quite nice.
It's the nice cover. It actually tells you what's going to be a decent amount what's going to be in the issue.
And all they had to do was add Doomsday's fist.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
And we have this great opening page. Clark's like, it's now or never. I'm going after Doomsday, and I'll do whatever it takes to bring him down. And Darkseid takes a sphere.
Out of where?
I don't.
Where's he getting that from?
That's a very good question.
It looks like he's like reaching into like a cloth or something, but where is that?
Like, does he have pockets?
It doesn't look like it. And that's not the color of any of his garb there.
So he's pulling it out of thin air.
Okay, there's that.
And it's what in the sphere rests the consciousness of the cyborg. Superman foolishly believes him dead. Yeah.
So Cyborg will be back, of course.
Cyborg will be back.
Yes.
Again, I still don't know where he got the sphere, though. Like, that's the thing.
Honestly, where did that come from? Where the fuck did that come from? Where he's pulling it from is not the color of anything around these guys.
No, it does not make sense.
It doesn't. Anyway.
And then, Wave Rider and Superman fly off, and, there's this great thing. And then, so there's this thing on Superman's arm called the Mother Box.
Yes.
Which just seems like a plot device.
Mother boxes are a well-established thing in the New Gods continuity.
It still seems like a plot device.
Do not question Jack Kirby.
I can question Jack Kirby.
Dude, you have not read any Jack Kirby.
Exactly. I can question him.
Jack Kirby created Captain America. Fuck off.
But yeah, so it glows, and then we get a ridiculous anime-style transformation.
So great. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
It's so nice.
Green glow, and he gets this shitty like gold armor around the Superman suit. But he gets a haircut too in this moment. It looks like.
Is that how he gets rid of the mullet?
Well, no, because I think he still has it in the Doomsday Annual, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wait, does he? Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So we're temporarily getting rid of the mullet, but not permanently.
It's the anime transformation. That's
the armor is ridiculous.
Oh, I love it. It's so great.
But it's like here's basically a power up.
Yeah.
And it's basically Dan Jurgens took one look at Black Suited Superman wielding a gun and was like, "Well, I want to do that again."
And here we are.
But more 90s.
So then we go after Doomsday. We bring back the blue Silver Surfer Dr. Manhattan dude, and he fights off Doomsday, but is not strong enough this time because, as we already know, Doomsday got stronger. Doomsday gets stronger each time that he dies.
More laughing. great action, more Doomsday laughing, and then this Doomsday alters his energy, and the Radiant is sliced in half, sort of, but it's a again bit weird.
But it's energy, so
Like, yeah,
I don't know.
can it like it should be like it implies that it can reform itself, because like it falls and it's just a head and torso, and then their legs, you know, and it's the idea of let's try to heal the Radiant.
How? Again, just energy.
It's energy. They say it's the mother box can do it, because remember, the mother box is kind of a Deus Ex Machina, like kind of is, Joey.
I will not hear Mother Box slander. It totally is. You're right, but I will
I'm
not hear.
right.
But I will not
I'm
hear Mother
right.
Box slander.
Um, and then you basically see Doomsday.
Sorry, no, Wave Rider. Wave Rider like confirms that Dr. Manhattan is gone, and we go back to Doomsday. Superman finally faces off with him, just officially. Is this the first time they're actually like seeing each other, other than
Yes.
the end of the first issue when Doomsday escapes?
Yeah, no, this is the first time they are really aware of each other's presence. Because like at the end of the first issue, Doomsday was on a screen. Clark saw Doomsday on a screen, and again a great panel layout, and a great reference to Metropolis.
Metropolis.
And and then basically a decent portion is really good action.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really nice. There's some really nice art here.
Again, some really good use of colors, especially all the reds.
I love when Superman starts going like all laser vision on him, and Doomsday is just this glob of like black and red dots.
And Clark is very much like, I've learned from my mistakes. I will laser him from a distance, and that'll.
Which is weird. I'm not sure why he didn't think of that the first time. I mean, not that it works here, but like I'm surprised he never tried that at all in the original.
Yeah, no. And he's trying to stay at a distance. Doomsday gets some good hits in. Doomsday's spikes shoot out of his knuckles,
which is
so he gets spike chains.
Yeah. That are attached to him that
are also poisoned.
That actually stab right through Superman, which is interesting. They stab right through him. He tries to pull him towards. Well, Doomsday tries to pull Superman towards him. Superman pulls out then like this. What is it? It's like an ultrasonic gun.
Yeah, from the mother box, because Deus Ex Machina.
Shut up.
And tries to ultrasonic him to death, but the spikes basically close his ears. And it's Doomsday's the perfect killing machine. But
we it's always
better. And then we get into a kaleidoscope of Technicolor of Wave Rider deciding to actually interfere.
Which is a great moment also for Wave Rider's character. I really enjoyed his arc throughout this.
Yeah, and so like Wave Rider melds with Doomsday's mind. It is looking into like the present to understand what Doomsday's thinking.
Mm-hmm. And then we get this great revelation. I don't know if you knew this going.
I did. I like this revelation.
So this was been a really cool moment for you, because so we get inside Doomsday's head, and we see Superman as Doomsday sees Superman, and we see Superman as Doomsday's creator.
Bertrand.
Yes, and Bertrand is a Kryptonian. We learn Doomsday was born on an ancient Krypton. So fucking cool. So you didn't know that at all, though, going in?
No, right? I didn't, and I was like, so it was very much we're doing this. This changes everything. Again, it's a great little detail, especially because there's this perception of Krypton as like a perfect planet.
Which is why I love this idea, though. Like a lot of the most famous Superman villains are from Krypton or have some version of their origin where they are from Krypton. Like Brainiac isn't always directly from Krypton. But like Superman the animated series does Brainiac from Krypton. Um, we have
Obviously, you have General Zod, who is
General Zod. We have Doomsday here. So many different characters that derive from Superman's origin because it is such a strong starting point, and you can put a lot into that. And I really, really like that.
and it's to explain sort of why he hyper fixated on Superman in the fight. Um, and but there's no real time, and we don't really let the news sink in. Sort of, we just keep the fight going with a great full splash page of
Mhm.
90s Superman punishing Doomsday.
Mhm.
With some
Once again, child Clark, that same fear, because it really is about Clark facing his fears, and you feel
and
that
this is,
here.
I think, this in the first issue are where the fear stuff really works, because it really isn't in the second issue a
Well, the
whole
second
lot.
issue is why this revelation hits about Doomsday being from Krypton. You get this whole origin. We don't say anything about it being Kryptonian at all, and then you recontextualize that in this third issue here, and it makes it really, really interesting. I think.
Yeah. Um, and then yeah,
Superman then gets a
gets
laser
a
sword.
laser sword.
A laser sword.
Okay, Joey, I know you say don't make fun of Jack Kirby,
Don't.
but I'm gonna make fun of Jack Kirby. Like,
This is why we love Jack Kirby, though. This is it. This is it right here.
it's mindless action. Doomsday gets the sword, and let's be honest, that's a fucking terrifying image.
Right?
Like,
Yeah,
you gave
absolutely.
this unstoppable killing machine a laser sword.
Yeah, so you have that. Wave Rider then
Tries to shut down its nervous system.
Mhm.
Um, and we have basically a replay of the death of Superman, like mixed with that panel from Nightfall.
Yeah, I don't know why we're homaging Nightfall here, but we are.
Probably because Nightfall was like finishing, maybe, or
No, Nightfall was long. Like Azrael was definitely still Batman at this point.
Jesus Christ, what?
I'm telling you, man, the three original volumes that they released that thing in are basically omnibus size, but you could buy them for like regular trade prices. It's insane.
Okay, so yeah, uh, and then
And
Doomsday just
anyway,
punts
yeah,
Superman into the sky. There's an explosion. Wave Rider thinks that they failed. Wave Rider's like, oh god, I'm experiencing the death all over again.
Mhm.
Why is this happening again? Um, but no, Clark is still alive. He's slammed into the ground. Debris is on Doomsday, and
Mhm.
Doomsday like has him. He does a right uppercut because his left arm, I think, has just been broken. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think, because his one, yeah, it's like totally limp there.
totally
Um,
limp, and I think it adds more armor as it's broken, like to signify that, which is
it's a nice little touch. I like it.
it's an interesting touch because like, yeah, it's again, this design is weird.
It's gorgeous. So, Superman then takes Doomsday. I love those like sequential panels there where he's just like flying him through the air and they just crash into this giant wall.
And it becomes a blur of colors,
Mhm.
and
Of course it does nothing because Doomsday. Um,
Doomsday is Doomsday.
but then Wave Rider is the real hero here. This giant gay rainbow comes out and
Basically,
and
well, basically we do the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it's like our destination is a nasty place where doesn't feel like space exactly, but the gravity opposing forces feels like it's tearing us apart. Um, and they drop Doomsday at the end of time.
so
Uh,
for someone like Doomsday, that should be the end,
that
right?
should be the end.
That
That is
should
the end.
that should be it. Um, but of course, we have four more double length issues to go.
I mean, let's
So
be fair. The annual is mostly flashbacks. The annual is flashbacks. Like it's
yeah,
stuff that's, yeah. It's
yeah,
it's ancillary material. It's not.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, you get this great little moment at the end here though, where like Clark has finally overcome his fears, and you get that flashback again. Clark goes to see Lois. He's okay.
And they kiss.
They kiss because perfect,
It's a
perfection.
very
We love
sweet
it.
ending. Very
All
nice
right,
ending.
ready for Doomsday Year One?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
good cover, good cover.
good
I
cover,
like the
good
cover.
cover.
Very nice cover.
And,
Oh,
again,
I like that the Here Lies Earth's Greatest Hero page filler has been replaced by the ripping Superman.
Superman. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
great.
that's nice. Um, and we open with again an interesting.
That is quite the first page.
It's a first page. Our first page is called. Our first story is called Chameleon. I think this
Which is
one's
really just the framing device.
yeah. This is what Jerry Ordway does the framing device, and it's a great start. There's a gathering of people all around this area of radiation.
You see,
And
oh god, what's his name?
Mitch,
From Mitch, that's his name.
Mitch, who
Mitch is
is,
back. I love
and it's
Mitch.
basically revealed that this was basically the ruins of the neighborhood that Doomsday destroyed,
Mhm.
which is very nice. Um, and this is Ordway getting pissed at the federal government for basically not cleaning up the mess.
Mhm.
Is basically what this is. We get we basically get him being like, Doomsday in the path of its destruction, he slash it caused until Superman stopped everything called in Metropolis. Let's talk about it, share our experiences, try to make some sense of what screwed up our happy little lives. Um, there's a woman who talks about how, her husband was killed when his truck was destroyed by Doomsday. One of the construction workers is there.
And what's really cool is like you could probably point to those moments in the battle, in the death of Superman, and like find where all these people fit in as they tell their stories. It's really, really cool.
And
Um,
they try to fill up a hole.
mhm. But they're angry and they are disturbing the peace. And this I don't want to say uh let's not go there. Okay, so things escalate and Superman comes in to sort of calm everything down. But and all and what all he basically comes in to do is say, well, here is where Doomsday came from. And somehow this is the framing device for just telling some random Doomsday
Random
Rampage stories.
stories, Doomsday Listeners. I don't even think Superman's barely in any of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's not in any of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not in any of them. He's just in the framing device.
yeah.
Um,
We're here to tell the beginnings of Doomsday. In between the flashbacks of Hunter Prey, in between that time where Doomsday escapes ancient Krypton, and when they create the containment suit and the Doctor Manhattan guy. This is all between that time. So this is Doomsday's year one, so to speak.
which is again weird. I mean, it's almost a metatextual year one because it's technically been a year since the death of Superman, probably. Like, wait,
Yeah,
no, it would have been
yeah.
2 years because this is
Yeah,
95.
yeah, this is 95 now. Yep. But we open on Dark Side here, in a story called Showdown. Is this the Jurgens one?
I'm not sure. I know the Green Lantern one is the Stern one, so this is either Jurgens or Simonson.
Hmm.
I think it might be Jurgens.
I'm pretty sure this is. I feel like Jurgens would be the one to do New God still.
Yeah, it feels Jurgens.
Okay, so you know Steppenwolf though,
Yes,
because
because
Justice League.
yes,
Um, yeah. This is a cool little story, I guess. This is
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like Steppenwolf's design here.
yeah. This is how he usually looks.
Oh,
I mean.
it's very 90s.
This is how he looked up to this point, I should say, minus the spikes, actually.
It is very 90s because of course there are spikes. Of
Steppenwolf
course.
is usually a pretty spiky character, though.
Yeah. Um yeah, I just checked. This is the Jurgens one.
Okay,
Um
there we go. Yeah. So anyway, so what is it? Dark Side is to marry this person, this lady from this other planet, to what, make peace, right? That's it.
Peace, I guess, which is
Okay.
I don't think Darkseid's a character to marry for political reasons, or to marry at all.
It's kind of funny though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is kind of funny. Um, so so I do have a problem with the story. This kind of cheapens Darkseid's meeting with Doomsday and Hunter Prey, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like Doomsday just shows up here, and Darkseid's like, "Oh well, fuck, I can handle him here." What? Like how he's gonna do the same fucking thing in how many years' time? What?
A lot.
However many
A
thousand
lot.
years? 245,000 years from now. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I fought this guy 245,000 years ago. I could do
I'm
it again."
curious. So this is like supposed to be like in between the time that it escaped Krypton and was
Yeah,
contained.
yeah,
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry. It's dumb. It's
yeah,
dumb.
yeah, yeah.
The art's nice because it's Jurgen's art.
It is. It is. It's nice to have here. There's a fist fight between Darkseid and Doomsday.
Yes, and it's
or no, almost a fist fight. They don't actually do it.
they don't
See,
actually.
I kind of wish they did.
It's the problem of this is an annual, so they're all what 10 pages each, maybe.
I think so. Yeah,
So
about
like
that.
it's a really short story. Um,
12
uh,
pages. 12
yeah,
pages.
12 pages. Um, you know,
Yeah. So the moment they realize that, like, you can't fight Doomsday because Darkseid sends one of his men after Doomsday, and he gets fucking killed in seconds. I like the look of fear on Darkseid's face though when the dude is killed. I just love that moment. They decide to leave and fuck off, and Doomsday is left there. Um, that's about it. It's
that's it.
it's
That's it.
okay. We go to the next story in Kundaya. I don't know.
Kundia,
I guess.
which is
The,
this is the Louise Simonson story.
and it actually kind of sucks.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of a shame because
yeah.
she was great usually.
We're on this warrior planet. So original, I know.
It's 90s schlock. Like
Yeah, it really it does nothing. Oh my god. It just
Doomsday attacks. Doomsday. Hang on, I'm just looking at this. Is that it? Oh, that's his knee. Okay. I thought for a minute there were
oh,
spikes
oh
coming out of Doomsday's
I was gonna say
crotch.
we were just gonna say, were you trying to find Doomsday's cock? Was that it?
It looked for a minute the way he was
You know what?
drawn.
Okay, totally unrelated. Just saying Doomsday's cock reminded me. Totally unrelated. You know the Watchmen follow-up event Doomsday Clock?
Yeah.
I had a guy when that was first coming out when I was buying that from my local comic shop that jokingly called it the Doomsday Cock, and I and I could like and that is what I've always called it to myself ever since I fucking heard that. I just keep calling it the Doomsday Cock.
I mean, look at this single panel,
Yeah,
right? Though,
I
like,
know what you mean. I know which panel you mean.
yeah, but like, there's action. I don't know who any of these characters are. Like,
I think they're original.
they
If they're
might be
not,
original. They're
I don't know.
very spiky.
They are very, very
This
spiky.
is this is the 90s this is the 90s that is ever 90s.
Oh my god! And then like the all gold armor guy.
Yeah, and then
Oh my god! Look at that design. They're here to match Doomsday. They're threatened by his spikes.
they're
So
threatened by his, albeit not that many spikes. Let's be honest. In comparison,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and it's fight, fight, fight. Explosion throws Doomsday off the planet at the end. That's
yeah, yeah. Honestly, why did we even bother
that is
talking
all
about
you
that
need
one?
to know.
We move on to the Green Lantern
This is the one
story.
I'm going to make you cover because you like this
I
one.
love this story. I love this story so much. Okay, again, I've mentioned it many a time on this podcast already. I'm a huge Green Lantern fan.
That's why I'm having you cover it because
I
this is the
Green
Green
Lantern.
Lantern story, also the Roger Stern story.
Yeah, yeah, and it's actually good.
Yeah, I mean this Stern's a good writer. Stern's a good writer.
It's called In Blackest Night, which is interesting, not to be confused with the storyline Blackest Night.
Tonight.
Which I'm curious, actually, not knowing much about Green Lantern. Do you know what the whole like Blackest Night thing is a reference to?
It's the oath.
Yeah, again,
Yeah, it's
brightest
the
day, blackest night. Yeah,
brightest day, blackest night, something 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 fight.
Nope.
I don't know the note. Okay.
I want to hear you try to do the whole thing. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I think it's in brightest day and blackest night. No evil shall like. I
I love this. Okay, in brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
that's it. Okay,
That's it.
I knew the first two lines.
Yeah. So
And
anyway, so it's called.
I knew the basic cadence because it's basically a poem.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah. So there's that. Yeah. So anyway, this is called In Blackest Night. We follow this squid-looking Green Lantern thing. We have a very, very bold second page here, not shadowing Doomsday's crotch area, which
yeah.
is very bold, very, very bold. So anyway, the Squid Green Lantern tries to go off and fight Doomsday, which, as we know at this point, is just a mistake. I love the power here, though. Like I love like seeing again. I love commenting on Doomsday's power, but you really see it here. Like the Green Lanterns are meant to have the most powerful weapons in the universe, and
because what they can do anything with their rings as long as they can imagine it. Like
as long as they have the willpower to imagine it. Yeah, yep, that's it. So like this bubble that he creates around himself, it's broken through in a couple of hits. He creates this barrier around Doomsday that Doomsday just breaks through not long after it's created.
It's also great sort of just like imagination type storytelling that breaks up the annual that to this point had just been Doomsday does an onslaught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a nice break in the kind of stories we've been getting in the annual so far. So yeah, so there's that. Doomsday straight up kills this guy then, and he grabs the ring, which is just a terrifying image of Doomsday having a Green Lantern ring, the most powerful weapon in the universe. Which is interesting. This is interesting though, actually, because I'm sure you already know that there are like multiple cores to the lanterns of the universe. What I'm sure you don't realize is how recent of an idea that is.
Is it recent? Is it
all the other cores aside from Green
Is it a Jeff Johns thing?
It's a Jeff Johns thing. It is there were no other cores before this. So realistically, we would say like, oh yeah, Doomsday would get like a red ring for rage or something. But this is the only one that existed at the time. So we have a green ring here. Doomsday has the willpower.
Well, he also steals it off a guy, so like.
Well, yeah, but also like Doomsday definitely does have the willpower for it.
Yeah, which is a terrifying
willpower
thought.
For a very different reason. But it's still willpower to kill. So there's that. He's greeted by the Guardians. You know the Guardians, or
I'm guessing they're in charge of the Green Lantern Corps.
They're in charge of the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, they're these little blue guys that just boss around the Green Lanterns. It's great. Doomsday goes around. He kills a bunch of other Green Lanterns. Still has the ring, which again is just terrifying. He makes it all the way to Oa. You see the giant power battery there. Did you know Oa or the power battery at all, or anything like?
I knew. I was vaguely aware that Oa was like the planet that the Green Lanterns are based out of, right? And then I knew they were powered by like a literal lantern power battery.
Yeah, and that's it. Like it's literally just the giant lantern at the middle of the planet. It's great.
I thought it was individual lanterns.
Well, they do get individual lanterns. Like that's how they recharge their rings, is they have their own individual lanterns. But there's a giant power battery at the center of Oa that charges, that like keeps all the rings sort of going.
Right, because this was created in like.
Yes, it's very cheesy. It's very.
I was gonna say like 60s. No, probably earlier. Because I mean, Hal Jordan was like the first Green Lantern that was like Green Lantern Corps Green Lantern. Because I know Alan Scott is
1940, my friend.
Oh, that's that was way off.
Yeah. Yeah, they're old. They're very old. I mean, Oa and the central power battery.
That probably came with Hal Jordan, though.
A lot of this really started with Hal Jordan. Like, yeah, Alan Scott was a very
different
rough idea of like what a Green Lantern was like, but has been since been applied to newer Green Lantern concepts.
I mean, that's also just a matter of no one's expecting to make a long-running series when they started the comic.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, like nobody saw like Jay Garrick being part of this like larger thing called the Speed Force or anything. He was just a guy that could run fast. That's about it. So yeah, it's just cool little things like that I like. Anyway, so the Guardians eventually get the ring off of Doomsday. They fling him into space. We can assume then he's eventually found by Dr. Manhattan looking guy. We've been talking
Yes.
about Watchmen a lot in this, mostly because I can't be bothered to remember the blue guy's name.
It's the Radiant.
Okay, I will
That
try
is
to
his
remember
name,
that, and
and
by
that's
that,
it.
I will try to remember it, and by that I mean I'll probably forget in about like 5 minutes. We get this cool little continuity thing at the end of this story where the person telling this story is like what Tomar Ray's hang on. Tomar Ray's ancestor? No.
Nephew.
Well, nephew, that's it. And I know you don't know Tomar Ray, but
No.
you see you know Kyle Rayner though.
I recognize
so,
that's Kyle Rayner.
So that's him down there. You see him next to Tomar Ray. So that's cool.
Tomar Ray's the chicken, the cosmic chicken.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. All right. Requiem is our last story here. Okay. This is the one where we actually have the Radiant. Okay, there we go.
And this is the other Jerry Ordway story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice again. It's nice to, despite this annual not being good, it's nice to have like all these writers back again playing in the sandbox, even if it feels. Let's be honest. This feels like an editorial mandate. Like they were told, like, hey.
There's some good stuff in here though. It's just as a whole the annual kind of sucks, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels like he's like, this year we're doing year one for every single annual, which again I'm curious. Batman would have probably had an annual. Well, 95 would Nightfall still have been going on?
Very probably.
So possibly it was year ones for Jean-Paul Valley Batman.
That's possible. Actually, that'd be kind of cool though.
Yeah, it might be cool, but like every annual is a year one, which is again themed annuals can be very hit or miss.
But anyway, so we round off here with just stuff we already know
on Ancient Krypton.
Yeah, we cover all this in Hunter Prey.
We actually get to see sort of how the containment suit got its design, with the idea of sort of the army on Krypton having that 60s Cyberman green mummy design.
Yeah.
Lots of blues.
I love this last page though, with the Doomsday sort of shadow across all of them. And Superman has his final little speech about how the lesson here is that we're all in this together against tyranny or injustice in any form. Thank you, Superman.
It's very nice. It's nice. But yeah, it kind of sucks.
But yeah, let's just move on to Doomsday Wars.
So Doomsday Wars, I really, really like Doomsday Wars.
It's good. It's really good. I still think Hunter Prey is better, but it's good.
I don't know how much. It's kind of a shame. Like, so Hunter Prey, who did the art for Hunter? Yeah, so Hunter Prey was Jurgens and Brett Breeding. This is Jurgens and Norm Rapmund.
Rapmund.
I was gonna say there's the M's after the P. And honestly, it's kind of a shame. I prefer the way that Breeding inks Jurgens' artwork.
Really, I love this. I mean, this is also like, first off, you go into Doomsday Wars. It looks very modern.
Yeah, it does look modern.
It looks very, very modern. It's like, really cool to see. Like I said, like this collection can almost just chronicle the evolution of comic art for you in the 90s. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love the way we open with sort of, again, Clark Kent reflecting on his childhood.
As he does so well.
Yes,
but I like these flashbacks. We have Lana Lang and Pete Ross here. Do you know Lana and Pete? Well, I know you know Lana.
I know Lana.
I know you know Lana, but did you know Pete Ross?
He was in Man of Steel, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was the bully kid.
He was the bully kid. Yeah. That on the bus. Yeah.
And then same guy works at Dunkin' Donuts.
No, IHOP.
It's IHOP, right?
He works at IHOP. Yeah.
IHOP.
Remember all the product placement in Man of Steel? There's a
lot of product
placement
in that
movie. And they destroy all of it.
Yeah, that's at least fun, but it's I will say some of that product placement.
Don't they like crash a ship into a Sears or something?
I think so.
Love it.
We're like less than a decade out from Man of Steel being releasing. I don't think Sears like exists anymore. But
this is gonna save our company. Man of Steel product placement.
Yes.
Um,
um, and it's so they're driving to the Kent farm in the dead of winter. They're all sort of teenagers. No, well,
yeah,
yeah,
late teens, yeah.
late teens. Clark's powers haven't developed yet. Is
Not fully, yeah.
not fully. And it's like, oh, we'll make it all right. If we don't, the livestock will starve or freeze, and that is completely, totally unacceptable. Clark, look out! And they get drift into a drifting bank, and the art just sets the mood so perfectly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love way the storm is drawn. I love this final page before we end the flashbacks of the Superman symbol in the middle of the storm.
The
So
odds were
nice.
impossible. It was the three of us against the worst, most godforsaken blizzard ever. Before I had my powers, over
I
20
think
years.
I think if nothing else, uh, I love Jurgens' inner monologue for Clark here, better than Hunter Prey.
He really lands it. He lands it so much better. And so, we flash forward, and Superman is fighting Brainiac, who is.
Okay, we got to talk about Brainiac.
Let's talk about Brainiac. Um,
Brainiac. This is obviously the character we were alluding to earlier. Did you know Brainiac at all?
not when I actually read this.
That's
I
really
did
funny. That is
shortly
so funny.
after, because then
I thought everyone at least like knew Brainiac by name.
I probably heard the name, but I wouldn't have been able
You
to
know what's really interesting though, actually? Fun fact about Brainiac, the term Brainiac nowadays was not created until the Superman character Brainiac was created.
Really.
Yeah, Brainiac the character was the invention of the term Brainiac.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
guessing in this continuity, he is smart computer man thing,
Yeah. Robot intelligence.
possibly responsible for the death of Krypton, possibly not.
No, I wouldn't say in this continuity, no.
But there are in
They
some
did
continuities.
incorporate the Superman the animated series continuity in the New 52 when they did Brainiac, but that's about it.
That's about it.
Yep.
Okay, so it's
And that would
we're
be Grant Morrison that did that actually, which is cool.
that sounds about right. That sounds like
Yep.
something they'd do.
Yeah.
But you have Brainiac using psychic powers to try to take down Superman. And it's some great stuff.
I like how
Uh,
it's done here though, is like just it's meant to be whatever Superman's dealing with right now, and you don't really think Brainiac is gonna have anything more to do with the plot.
yeah, it's just like he gets defeated, and fairly quickly. Superman saves a bus full of people.
Yeah. It's a cool little action
It's a
sequence.
cool. It's a nice action sequence. At the end of the rubble, you have Dan Turpin. Um,
Dan
uh,
fucking Turpin, the
Dan
legend.
Turpin, the legend. And it's like Brainiac. He guess right. He is dead. Like this whole idea that Brainiac probably died. But and Clark's kind of put out by this, but Dan's like, "Yeah, you saved a bunch full of innocent people, Superman. Gave him life. Ain't nothing to apologize for."
Mhm.
But he can't get over it, and he immediately goes to a party. Um, and at this point, Clark and Lois Lane are married.
Which is so great. That's so rewarding, especially like if you're reading these 5 volumes in succession. It's nice to finally have that here as like, oh yeah, in Death of Superman, like Lois lost her fiance. Here we are now. They're married. It's just a
It's also so nice to see Jimmy Olsen, especially considering like the last thing I saw him in was Superman Doomsday the movie, and where he was such an asshole.
aggressive gay Jimmy Olsen.
Um,
Yeah, it's just nice to see him here at the party. They're throwing a party. Cat Grant is here, and we have important information about Cat Grant. Her child is fucking dead. Um, because of Superman. I've never read the story where this actually happens. But that's the way it is. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the actual story of how it
it's
happened.
it's a thing, and it's given a lot of weight here.
Yeah.
Because this entire miniseries is let's reflect on Clark's failures.
Mhm.
Because with this, we tie it into the flashbacks in the storm of Clark Kent with a shovel trying to dig out his car. And
Mhm.
he can't do it. He's not Superman yet. He doesn't have his powers. He can't just quickly dig out all the snow. And he feels like he would be, giving up responsibility to his father, which is something that really emotionally resonated with me. Like this childish fear of failure. Like
I get that. Yeah.
Like losing your responsibility.
Yeah, it works here. It really, really works. And tying it directly into like current Clark who failed miserably, presumably fairly recently, in sort of the same way, like he feels like he is a failure, like he does not like he can't actually do what he has set out to do, and it really hits. I really, really love it. Meanwhile, at the party, Clark gets a call from his from Ma and Pa Kent.
Yes.
So nice to see them still around, kicking, and nobody's decided to kill him off yet. Fuck yeah!
Pa's not had another heart attack.
Yes, I think I'm not sure exactly when they go away again. But I think they die not long after that.
Damn it!
I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing: like, we only bring back Ma and Pa Kent in continuity for like very specific reasons, but odds are they're gonna die once they've served their purpose.
That is. You know what? We can let superheroes have happy living parents.
Nah.
Yes.
No.
Not every superhero needs to be Batman.
I mean, okay, fine. At least one dead parent. Every superhero has to have at least one dead parent.
No. Superheroes.
Come on, Martian Manhunter's entire race is dead. Come on, it can't get worse than that.
I just keep the Kents alive and just make them happy. Even if you're not going to use them, just keep them alive and have them call their son occasionally. That's my takeaway.
Okay.
But Clark does rush off from the party.
Yes, he has to go. He's told that whatever is going on back in Smallville, it's urgent. So Clark goes there. We find that it has to do with Pete and Lana, and Pete and Lana are now married, which is actually something that I wasn't too familiar with before reading this. I wasn't aware of their relationship before the first time I read this, so that's cool. Yeah, so I like that there.
Intercut with a truck being destroyed.
It's a bit of a shame this series is called the Doomsday Wars, isn't it?
Yeah, because
this would have been a really cool build-up.
But you have Clark and Pete in the hospital, and it's this great sort of thing that it's like that she's fine, but she was pregnant when they had an accident,
and it caused her to deliver early, like way fucking early,
2 months early.
In that it probably their baby probably won't survive the night,
and
which is miserable. That is really fucking heavy.
It is heavy. It is dark. I like it because we end up with a spoiler alert with a happy ending in the end.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Jurgens would kill a literal newborn.
No. Jurgens...
I really don't. Like, it's really hard to believe that that they would ever consider it, but whatever.
But we cut over to the rest of the Justice League.
Which is, let's see the lineup here. We got Martian Manhunter, who I just mentioned. Plastic Man. I love that Plastic Man is here.
Wonder Woman. And Kyle Rayner.
Kyle Rayner, Flash is down there.
And I'm guessing still Wally West, because Barry Allen is still dead like he should be.
Is that, it's Huntress there then with him? Do you know Huntress?
Yes, because I have in fact seen the first season of Arrow.
Oh, that's right, she's in Arrow. I forgot
she's in Arrow.
Yeah. And then Orion is down there, who's another New Gods character. So
he does look like a Jack Kirby design.
See, you can always tell. You can always tell.
Now that you've shown me what to look out for, I'm
see,
like, yeah, that's a Kirby.
That's Jack Kirby. I love it. But anyway,
and they're being very, very, very cryptic on like who it is.
You don't need to be. It's called the fucking Doomsday Wars, Jurgens. You knew you were gonna call it the Doomsday Wars, Jurgens. Like, that's not the twist here. The twist is something much bigger.
Also, when did Wally West meet Doomsday? Like,
does he say that he met Doomsday?
You're back? It's like, how?
Oh well, he says you're. Come on, are you telling me that he wouldn't at least know of Doomsday?
It's just the way it's written. It feels like it's meant to be personal, and it's like
It's no, it's not personal. I mean, it's personal for everyone. This is the guy that killed Superman.
that's fair. But yeah, then we see Doomsday's silhouette. Obviously, it's Doomsday. He's in the
No,
title.
no, no, no. It's Lex Luthor.
It's Lex Luthor in a mech
It's Lex
suit.
Luthor. Yeah, yeah, in
Yes,
another mech suit. Would we be
another mech
surprised?
suit.
Would we be surprised?
Um,
So not Lois. Lana is with Clark here.
and Pete is very jealous.
Yes,
Like,
honestly, like this is one of those cases I don't blame him. I
no,
really,
I don't blame him because it's
I totally get that. That's yeah.
like,
That's
like, like, like his wife now wants to speak to her ex-boyfriend
hello.
immediately after a tragedy. Like,
Yeah,
you
and
know what's going through his head.
mhm.
You know
But you
what's
also understand where Lana's coming from here because the
she
only person that can
knows.
realistically save her child is Superman. And I like this reasoning here that like Smallville General Hospital isn't equipped enough to handle this kind of situation.
It's
This
in
is
the
probably
middle
never
of Kansas.
this has never happened here. Smallville's an old ass town. They do not have the equipment for this. Um, so Clark, of course, agrees because he's Clark Kent. Um, we get
And
this great spread here where the Justice League is just demolished. Um,
including Wally West and
I
Kyle Rayner, but
I
like,
love Plastic Man all laid out there.
oh yeah,
Uh,
all ripped like
yeah.
plastic.
Uh,
Um,
I like that Orion is the character, like sort of like the last one standing here that decides to take on Doomsday, which of course doesn't work because he gets a fucking tank thrown on him. Um,
which is a great image.
we have a lot of
Um,
we have more fun with Plastic Man here, where it just what is it? Orion is like thrown into Plastic Man's face.
which is it's a hilarious image. Um, it's like there's this great he says this great one liner. Good thing I'm made of plastic, or I'd need a plastic surgeon.
It's
Um,
so great. I love him. But also a very well-deserved one-on-one with Doomsday here. Like Wonder Woman needs to take this fucker on.
yeah,
Like if there's any DC superhero that like if you hadn't seen take on Doomsday before this that you wanted to see take on Doomsday, it's Wonder Woman.
and you
Um,
know what? She also might be able to beat Doomsday. Like she Clark and she Superman and Batman are the three who could probably beat Doomsday because they're the important ones.
Superman does officially decide to go out and he's gonna take the kid. Doomsday rips apart Plastic Man here, like
in a
literally rips him apart.
in a fucking brutal sequence. Like
Yeah,
again, the sound effects strip, plip,
I think
plop, and
what's
twing, sting.
what's really interesting here though is that Doomsday's sounds that he's making are in regular speech bubbles. So I like the bit of foreshadowing there. I think
It's
that's
a
cool.
great bit of foreshadowing. Uh, and you have Wonder Woman taking her lasso of truth,
Mhm.
uh, putting it around him, and he just whips her with it.
Yeah.
Um,
But of course, my favorite thing about this entire issue is this cliffhanger, where Wonder Woman says there should be no sense of reason, no mind. To which Doomsday replies, "My own mental defenses barred your overconfident friend from the truth. To partially quote one of your human authors, the reports of my
my
stupidity
stupidity
were
were
greatly."
greatly exaggerated.
I love it. Oh my god, it's
It's
so good.
it's so good. And you
Oh my
have sort
god.
of the double cliffhanger with Clark, deciding stating this baby will live no matter what.
So I
Um,
gotta know, what was the first thing going through your head when you saw Doomsday speak?
I was like, oh, are we gonna actually make him an interesting character? I was kind of
um,
disappointed in the end.
I mean, at the same, I mean, okay, spoilers. It's Brainiac. So you have that going on, but it does sort of like continue this spiritually continue this idea that Doomsday does get better and
Yeah,
smarter
no, like
each time he comes back. So even though it's not literally just Doomsday getting better here, it is technically him getting better. You added intelligence to Doomsday now, and it's cool. I like it. Anyway,
yeah,
so issue two,
opens with the next, still with the flashbacks. The next morning after the storm,
with a really fucked up image
of an entire field of cows dead. Um, like Oh God, it's dark.
And I like this moment here where like Pa Kent doesn't want to blame Clark for it, but like it's definitely Clark's fault.
It's Clark's fault. It's Clark is. I'd argue it's Pa knows it's no one's fault. That like yeah, Clark technically let him down, but it's no one's fault. That storm would have stopped anyone. Like
I like this bit here in the flashback where Pa Kent says dead, every last one of them dead, where Clark thinks to himself, he's just beating himself. He says, translation, we're broke, no cattle to give milk and pay the mortgage on the farm, no insurance to cover the loss. It's just he feels so bad about it. And of course, again, we're tying this back to present day. We see Clark getting this sort of protective gear.
It's a ventilator basically.
Mhm. He gets
That's
this little
just been altered slightly to be strapped on his back, and it's like he's gonna take the baby to the hospital in
I,
Atlanta.
I like this little line here with the doctor saying Superman, meet baby Ross, meet your guardian angel.
And
um,
it's great.
they stick
Um,
him inside this little canister on Superman's back.
and
um,
and Pete not being told any of this is going on, mind you.
he really should have been told.
He should have been.
I really feel for Pete here.
Yeah,
This,
it's like our baby, he's gone.
but at the same time, again, you like see where Lana and Superman are coming from. Like, there's this sense of urgency. There's probably no time to do it. Like, you just have to go and do it. Um, so it makes sense for on both
But
ends.
he is arguably right to be mad.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because it's still a strong possibility that the baby could die along the way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And the worst thing ever would be if Superman did fail, and
or say if
And
Superman,
Pete,
I don't know, had the threat that killed him has returned a
yeah.
second time.
And the
Uh,
worst thing ever for them would be if Pete and Lana couldn't at least be there with their newborn
with their
child
newborn,
in its
yeah,
final moments. Like, oh my God. Oh, it's so fucking heavy. Good
it's
God.
heavy, but it's good.
My God,
Jurgens ends up
that is
luckily, you know.
miserable. Just describing that makes me feel awful. Good God. Oh man. Yeah,
And
that
then Doomsday
that
takes down some U.S. fighter jets.
yeah,
Uh,
as he does.
still, and he villain monologues,
Gentlemen.
gentlemen, which is just this great. Like, oh God, he's smart now. We're
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
screwed. Um, and he immediately takes a missile and is like, right, I know where Superman is. Missile, take down
No,
Superman.
I fucking love this bit where the pilot goes, "Oh Lord," and the Doomsday goes, "In due time, I will be." It's so great. It's just the right amount of cheesy, and it's just the right amount of like levity to sort of offset how heavy this is.
Yeah, because it is heavy.
It's
Uh,
really fucking heavy.
and you have Clark. So Clark, trying to outmaneuver a missile, ends up getting it to blow up using his heat vision, um, and you know, in
Where's the freeze breath? Like, come on, nobody uses freeze breath anymore. I love freeze breath.
yeah, that's that's canon.
You
He
never
has free.
freeze?
I
Yeah,
always,
Jacob. He could blow on things and they freeze.
I always thought that was like a thing they added for like just like in the silver. They should bring back the freeze breath. God,
They
you're
should.
right.
Yeah, nobody uses the freeze breath. I fucking love the freeze breath. It's
Um,
so great.
But I love how you have Clark looking through the smoke, and it's like, no, impossible. Doomsday, Kryptonian, a pleasure to see you again, old friend.
Doomsday's dialogue is so fucking funny. The best thing about it though is that I cannot imagine any other way to read it than this like big like Doctor Who sounding monster.
Yes,
like, like it's there. Like I can't read it with Brainiac's voice, even though like I know it's Brainiac speaking, but it's meant to be coming through Doomsday. So
so
like, how would
it's
that even
like,
sound? How would that sound in your head?
um, gosh, I'm trying to think of like what Doctor Who. I was going with like a Stephen Thorne voice, you
Oh my
know,
god, yeah,
like
that'd be great. Oh my
like
god.
Stephen Thorne in Hand of Fear,
Yeah, definitely.
because it's Doomsday's basically a rock monster.
He is. He's the problem. Okay, I want someone to edit male Eldrad from the Hand of
Yes.
Fear as Doomsday and
As
have oh
Doomsday.
god, who would be Superman in this case? Oh my god. Oh, it would be that dude from the oh god, from the the one station that like calls his wife and kids in the hand of fear.
Yes.
It would be him. I love it. Anyway,
Dr. Watson, yes. But
that's
yeah,
it.
some action. Uh,
Lots of action.
Clark is again like best use of onomatopoeia with just the Bram showing Doomsday's impact on the Earth.
Yeah.
Like,
I like when like Doomsday sends Clark through the earth, so he like quick whips the baby canister around to hold on to and clutch as he like goes through. Really really cool moment like that. Um, Superman is then taken by mechanical tentacles and is taken to what, the Doomsday City.
yeah, basically, it's from I don't know it. The technology is Kaluan. I don't know, like it's a future thing, but it's at
I
this point
swear I know that.
basically.
I swear I know that race, and I probably should be able to tell you what it is right now, but I got nothing.
But basically, what we get is here's how Doomsday survived, and it's apparently all Hal Jordan's fault. Because
Yeah. Hal Jordan's a dick.
Hal Jordan, evil
Oh
Hal
yeah.
Jordan.
Oh yeah. So we got to talk about this. Okay. So this sort of helps you though, because this at least catches us up on what happened with Hal between when Coast City got destroyed in return. Um,
Yeah,
did this help at all? Like were you able to follow this? Okay.
I was like, yeah, I was aware that 0 Hour Crisis in Time was a thing, like because that's like what the first sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths
Yeah. Yep.
of like
First of many.
first of way too many. How, there are what, four crises technically?
Three crises. Four if you do count 0 hour.
I mean, it
So
was marketed as Crisis in Time, so
yeah. But yeah, so you have that. Actually you get to see Hal Jordan Parallax for the first time here, which is kind of cool. Do you like how
it is
I
a '90s
I
design.
love the design. We see Wave Rider here. Do you know Captain Atom down there on the bottom left?
Uh, um,
The
wasn't he played by what's his face in the Flash?
was he? Oh no, you're thinking of the Atom, not Captain Atom.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
Okay, but
We see
like
Barbara down there.
I was gonna
Barbara's
say,
there.
like, oh look, Barb. Huh, interesting for Barbara Gordon that this is the '90s and huh,
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
not sure what the context is there, to be honest.
Interesting that she's not in a wheelchair, which I mean, interesting. I'm more salty that apparently people get mad at Gail Simone for taking her out of the
Yeah,
wheelchair.
yeah. You only found that out recently. I think I told you,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I only found that
yeah.
out recently because, like, yeah, people hate Gail Simone. When first off, it definitely wasn't her decision. Like,
That is definitely a higher
it
ups like no,
yeah.
Gail, you're on a back
But
foot looking
also, like,
half
Gail
East
did it in
Barbara
such a
Gordon.
great way. Did it in such a great way that, like, come on, it's. Oh, I know you haven't read it, and
I'm
we will
excited to read it. I'm
we will
excited to
definitely
read
read it
it.
someday. We will definitely read it
But
someday.
yeah, we basically get basically it's a recap of the event, and like it's basically implied that time is rewritten so much that Doomsday got rescued by Brainiac, and it's just fuck.
It's really stupid. It's really really stupid.
It's really dumb. Look, I know that this isn't that sounds like an editorial mandate of Doomsday needs to keep coming back.
See, but he doesn't. He doesn't. This really feels like a Dan Jurgens thing. Honestly,
It might be. Um,
come on, it feels like a Dan Jurgens thing.
yeah, but like, uh, so then you have Brainiac taking over Doomsday's mind
As
from
as as one does.
a clone body, and it's Jurgens tries to do this thing of Doomsday's mind is at war with Brainiac's mind. I think that's what the Doomsday Wars of the title is supposed to refer to.
Yeah,
Because there
it's
isn't really a war in this
yeah.
miniseries.
There's no war. It's like the Battle of Ranskorav Kalos. There's no battle.
There's no
Uh,
battle. At least with Battle of Ranskorav Kalos, it's the aftermath of a battle. This one, there's no war.
there's no war. Well, I don't know. Maybe the aftermath of the million times that Superman has fought fucking Doomsday in the past 5 years at the time.
You mean twice?
It feels like a million times.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
the million issues it took.
But yeah, so there's more action, and I love how it's just like Clark's like, right, need to save the baby, 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 because yeah,
Because now we have the strength and ferocity of Doomsday with the intelligence of Brainiac and knowing actually how to use it.
And Doomsdayak, as I shall christen him.
Oh God, no, not
Doomsdayak.
Doomsdayak. So we have
because Clark
so he
drops the baby.
he deduces what the kid means to Clark. It can't be his. Otherwise, a kid of Superman's wouldn't need protection, presumably.
No.
It's got to be somebody else.
Not
Not just somebody else, but someone that Superman personally cares about. So Doomsday just takes the kid.
Just steals the child. And we see on Doomsday Brainiac ship the rest of the Justice League.
Fuck off. Stop calling him that wasn't even the same name that you called him earlier.
No, it isn't. I love the spread of the ship where you have Plastic Man over spikes, Wonder Woman in a glowy ball, the Martian Manhunter webbed up, and then Huntress tied up, and
Kyle having his hands and face blocked off.
So I'm guessing that's just so he can't use his Green Lantern ring.
Yeah, and who would be in the bricks there?
I think it's the Flash that's in the bricks.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I think it's like, so he doesn't phase through.
Wait, I was gonna say, but he's got to be able to phase through them still. I'd say.
Yeah,
but at that point, what would he be able to do to Doomsday? I mean,
that's true. I mean, he might be able to help bust out other people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, so then just a plane falls out of the sky, right? No.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and Superman tries to save it, but it blows an engine, and he has to stop it. He lands it safely on the ground. Has a confrontation with Pete, which is just a heartbreaking scene.
Yeah.
My God, that hurts. That really hurts. Even to the point where like Pete doesn't care. Like he just tries to punch Superman with all his force,
and he breaks his hand doing it. Like
yeah.
Because you don't punch Superman. That's the thing. And we end with again this great final page of Clark reflecting on his failures.
Yeah.
I still failed to stop death, just as I did with Adam Grant, just as I did today, thinking he's basically killed Lana and Pete's baby.
Yeah. And which brings us to the Doomsday Wars, book 3 of 3. We see like, what is it, like the following couple week or something?
Yeah, it's
in these
it's a couple weeks in the flashbacks where basically it's like they're gonna have to auction off the farm, and that's kind of hopeless.
Yeah. Which takes us to present day once again. I love that full page of Pete just being so pissed at Clark, and Clark looks so sad just looking down at him. That hurts. That hurts so much. Then, ready for this? I'll let you take this.
Yeah. So well, you have Clark doing one very nice, promising Pete that he's going to get his son back, basically. Like, yes. And we cut over to the JLA Watchtower. Oh.
Aquaman's there,
and okay.
Look at him. Just fucking look at him.
Okay, I'm gonna give my message to our audience. Hello, audience. Jacob Blacklater. I'm not the biggest comics fan. However, I am on the Aquaman does not need to be dark, edgy, and depressing to be taken seriously. You can have a bombastic superhero who is a fun character. Like his portrayal in Batman the Brave and the Bold is great. The few clips of Justice League that I've seen him in, as in the DC Animated Universe show.
See, what's interesting is they do 90s Aquaman's design in that, but it's not the same characterization.
No, this is just, it's the 90s. It's edgy. He has a harpoon for a hand. Fucking harpoon for a hand.
Yeah, so that
I fully expect Joey we read some Aquaman solo stuff someday. That's good.
I'll tell you this. We'll be doing it sooner than you think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Kolu is the planet that Brainiac's from in this continuity.
Okay, that sounds right.
It says Kolu, the techno planet. That implies that it's from. Yeah. That implies that it's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, and Jurgens, I will say, it feels like Jurgens wants to do Aquaman as fun, but is also like clearly
No.
you can't really do that with this design.
No. I don't think he's trying to make Aquaman any less edgy here.
I hate it. But we then cut to Doomsday Brainiac on the ship. Um, and it's like, right, we're going to take the Ross's baby and grow a new body.
Which is horrifying.
It's horrifying. I love it because I love like horror. I love horror, so like this is right up my alley.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
It's great.
Flash breaks out of his bricks. At which point he's able to break Kyle
I
out, right?
think.
Or no, he
Wait,
tried to
no.
break
So
Kyle
here's what
out.
happens. Kyle, I think, kicks. It looks like Kyle kicks the Flash, right? Because like Kyle still got his feet. Like Doomsday Brainiac, you're kind of an idiot if you're like letting this man have his feet. Because then he knocks over the Flash, which cracks it enough to allow Wally to break out, which is. I love it. It feels very much like here's the triumphant music rising when Wally West breaks out of his restraints,
See,
and
but
then
then wait, no, but then Wally's not right. Wait, what's wrong with Wally here? I forget.
no, he gets kicked over and he breaks out. Um,
Yeah,
and
and then he's all like evil for some reason.
oh yeah, for like
Wait, why?
two
I forget.
2 seconds, and
Wait,
then
why
it's
is
just
he?
not brought up again. Wait,
Wait,
what?
what? Wait, whoa, what
Why
the
is
fuck?
he
Wait,
even
is he brainwashed here or something? What's going
for
on?
some for like? Oh, so it's like Doomsday got into his head for
I
like a
guess.
second. Um,
He goes,
because like he
idiotic human, how dare you interject yourself into my affairs? Even a complete cretin should have realized that I was monitoring this chamber. Okay, so yeah, so he's like, he's just taking a red brainiac, I guess.
I guess for like 2 seconds. Um,
Okay, um,
we cut back to the
whatever.
hospital where Lana's caught up uh is caught up with the fact that Doomsday's back.
Mhm.
And where Pete's
Superman is
going.
still going after him. He crashes into the Doomsday Brainiac city. Um, yeah, he goes there. He goes to fight Doomsday. What else is new?
Some again great action because it's Dan
Yeah,
Jurgens and Jurgens can
yeah,
really write action really well.
yeah.
Like there's this
Some
great image of
very nice visual storytelling here, definitely.
um, all building to Pete Ross sneaking on the spaceship like a badass.
What a
Uh,
fucking guy.
yeah, like um, taking out one of the Brainiac alien things with a wrench, um, basically, um,
As one does,
finding his son and saving his son
like a legend.
like a legend,
Um,
while Superman teleports Doomsday to the moon to hold him
oh
temporarily.
god, this is where the issue falls apart, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I like the conclusion, like with like when we get to the flashbacks again. But
Uh-huh. But man,
so
this is really stupid from here.
so right,
So what?
so
Then Brainiac is able to separate himself from Doomsday,
Doomsday gets back into a robot body. Um,
but then Doomsday's still around.
Doomsday's still around, but is on the moon.
Yeah, and he's just regular Doomsday at this point.
Yeah, the Justice League are freed, so it's Doomsday on the moon. Clark pummels him
I
a
love this bit
bunch.
where Kyle makes the Green Lantern lady to catch Superman.
Yeah, it's
I genuinely love that bit.
um,
Oh wait, is this the first time that we've ever had an editor's note in one of your comics that you've read?
I think so.
Okay, did you know of editor's notes
Yeah,
before this?
yeah, I
Okay.
knew editor's notes were a thing.
Okay. They're always like just really fun to see. Like, that's not the case here, but I really like them like in older comics where it'll be like like, oh, we're referring to this event here, little asterisk where it's like
This one is
see last issue for this or whatever. I think my favorite one that I did recently, I was reading some X-Men recently, and it was the first time that Wolverine joins the X-Men in the Chris Claremont run, and and Wolverine, I don't know if you knew this, was first created in the Incredible Hulk title. So he first shows up there. They put this little asterisk by his dialogue, and Marv Wolfman was the editor on X-Men at the time, and there's this little note that says, like, as faithful readers of the Incredible Hulk will already know, and it was just really funny to me. I loved it.
I love this one where it's like, through the Martian mantle to the JLA communicate in space telepathically.
So you just don't have to actually like just do anything after that point to establish how they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's great. Aquaman just kind of sits there and watches the fight.
Does
Look at him.
They massacre. I don't want to say they massacred my boy, but they massacred my boy. It's like
They do.
It's like, but I like the idea of the conclusion of setting up 4 teleporters on the moon and splitting Doomsday between the 4. It's such a dumb sci-fi idea that I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. But but that is Doomsday dealt with once again. Finally.
Finally, for once and for all, and we have some very nice conclusion.
Yep. The kid is safe, which is great.
We cut back to the flashbacks where, Ma and Pa Kent are, it's like, Pa Kent is devastated. Ma's like, it'll be fine. They're taking away the house, but it'll be fine. It's like, you reap what you sow. Always remember that, Clark. It's time. Here they come. Clark says, vultures, thinking it's going to be people coming just for the auction. And no, it's all of Smallville. That they're here not
donating their cows.
Donating their cows.
Which is such a great sentence.
It's such a great
Smallville
ending.
Donates their cows.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's the Kents. And, we end the story in the hospital with Pete and Lana,
such a
baby
nice
back
moment.
Together.
Oh, I love it.
They're gonna name him Clark after Clark Kent. And it's just,
and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's nice.
Nice. What a great ending.
It fills you with the warm fuzzies at the end.
Thank fuck, because my God, imagine if this had a depressing ending.
Yeah, if it had a depressing ending, I would not like it nearly as much as I do.
Yeah. I like that even like the flashbacks come around and they sort of have a happy ending.
Everything has a happy ending. It all works out in the end. Every wrong is righted. And that was
look at Dan Jurgens, the guy that killed fucking Superman, writing happy shit. It's nice to see. That was it. Wow, that was officially it, though. Like it. I know we finished the actual arc last time, but this is it.
This is the end, and it honestly it feels like an ending. Like,
yeah, it's like I would honestly say like this is really essential reading for post Death and Return of Superman story readers. I would say you really need to read this. It's just a really nice bookend.
You can skip the annual.
You could definitely skip the annual, but I mean, unless you're a big Green Lantern fan like me, that's about all. That's about all that's there for you.
Yeah, but it's shall we before we move on to closing, shall we do just a nice little let's rank the 5 volumes?
Ooh, okay. I mean, I can't imagine we'll have them too different.
Yeah.
I would imagine both our least favorite is Funeral.
Funeral for a Friend, sadly.
Then I would say Death.
You know what? I'd probably say Death and Doomsday are probably tied in the next position.
So I would say Doomsday is a little bit better than Death as a volume. Then
I don't know.
Honestly, my top 2 are tied between Reign and Return.
Then for me, it's Reign, and at the top, Return. I loved Return so much.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah,
that's it. And there's no adapted.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
There's no adapted material for this one, which I mean, I honestly I would love to see one of these miniseries adapted somehow, but nobody's done it. So
I mean, I can see why.
Yeah. But on Death of Superman adaptations, we did mention it briefly, but we never mentioned the radio play. So Superman Doomsday and Beyond is the adaptation of Death and Return of Superman for audio. I've never heard it. It is totally not on YouTube to listen to for free.
I will say we both know of the director who directed and wrote the adaptation
Yes,
from
everyone should know Dirk Maggs.
Dirk Maggs.
Everyone should know Dirk Maggs.
And so knowing Dirk Maggs' other work, it's probably great.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll probably listen to it at some point.
Didn't you say William Hootkins is Lex Luthor in it?
Yes.
Fucking
Yes.
Porkins himself.
William Hootkins is Lex Luthor. John Pertwee's in it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, John Pertwee's in it.
Who does he play?
A character I have never heard of.
What's his name?
Like
John Pertwee.
Yeah, John Pertwee.
Who does he play?
Hang on, give me just one second.
Wow. All right then.
Yeah, no, John.
That must have been like one of his last acting projects, right? That had to be.
Well, okay, so it was made in 1993. So.
Oh, it was made the year it fucking happened. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was one of those very, very interesting sort of things where I
guess it really just goes to show like what a cultural phenomenon the story was, you know.
Yeah. And I think it was like the first thing that Maggs did with Superman. He plays a character called Schwartz, who might just be a sort of a composite of like some of the Cadmus people, maybe.
I guess
because it also apparently adapts like Superman, a little bit of the Superman the Man of Steel miniseries, like, and I know it opens with the funeral of Lex Luthor.
Okay.
Yeah, because they do Australian Lex.
Like, fuck yeah, as they should.
It is the
as
one
they should. As they
do Australian Lex Luthor.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess it is finally time.
Yeah, it's time.
It is finally time. Okay. I'm very confident that you already know what episode 11 is.
I have a strong feeling, and it's something you said earlier that might have given it away.
I mean, okay. Well, here's the thing: you could probably already guess that it's going to be a continuation of something we've done before.
Yes. Okay,
I know what it is because you know it is a Batman episode.
Yes. Yes.
So go ahead. What do you think it is?
Is it going to be Death of the Family?
It is not.
It is not?
It is not. No, it's Dark Victory.
Oh. Yes.
Yes, we're doing Dark Victory. Yes, we're continuing the first episode where we did Long Halloween. Yeah, we're doing Dark Victory.
Oh, so we're doing Robin content, aren't we?
We are doing Robin content. Yes, this is it.
This is it. This is great. I'm so excited to be back with Sale and Loeb because
it's exciting. It's going to be really exciting. Ooh. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I thought we were going to continue the Snyder run. Honestly.
No, not for now at least. Right now we're doing Dark Victory. Yeah, the continuation of the Long Halloween, which if you haven't heard our episode on that, go listen to the Long Halloween before the next episode.
It is our first episode, and surprisingly, it holds up.
Yeah, go listen to it. There's less structure than how we do the podcast now, but no, it's there. It's a nice discussion. If nothing else, listen to our thoughts on it before you listen to our Dark Victory episode because there's going to be a lot to talk about.
A lot.
Same structure.
One more issue, I think, than Long Halloween.
Only a 0 issue, and it's a special. It's only like 10 pages.
Oh, okay. So it's about the same length.
Yeah, it's just like a little prologue for it. That's it.
Cool.
Just saying like, oh yeah, this is what's happened between Long Halloween and now. So that's it. Anyway, so yeah, that is Superman Doomsday. If you want to read the book, there's an Amazon link in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, if not, just go to YouTube. The link is there. We'll also have a link to our next reading, which is Batman Dark Victory by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. So be sure to go buy that or read the book if you already have it. Give it a reread if you've already read it. It's really good. So what more excuse do you need? So there's that. As always, give us a rating and review wherever you're listening to us. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Blood Donut Studios. Would really mean a lot, as always. I guess that about does it. Anything else to plug before we leave?
No.
All right, cool.
Well, actually, thank you for listening to this 5-episode saga.
Yeah, I know it's been kind of hard on listenership at times, but
honestly, everyone who's stuck with us, I'm so happy that you have.
Yeah. And I'm glad we did it the way we did, honestly. I'm very happy with it. It was a really rewarding experience to go through this whole arc with you. It was nice.
Yes. And I would not have let us just end on right after death. We could not have done that.
No, of course not. And I think this is well worth it. So
yeah.
All right, I guess until next time, this has been Joey Morgan
and Jacob Licklider.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.